Good time zone, and welcome to today's little battle mapping stream. It is Tuesday, and that means it's the 1st of November. We have officially left spooky season and moved into the beautiful, magnificent, cold holiday season that follows it. As you can see, I am dressed for the occasion, and for tonight's mapping stream, I invite you to also put on your most comfortable jumper, get yourself a warm cup of your favorite beverage, and sit down here with me as we're going to make a Winter Wonderland battle map. If you just by pure accident ended up here, well, you are at Horde of Tales, and my name is Markus, also known as the Chindividual. Usually on Tuesdays, I'm the GM of our 5th edition D&D Eberron game, but due to some scheduling conflicts this week, we've decided to do our 2nd edition of the Battlemap stream. And after a quick little poll that we ran on our Twitter, you helped me decide, and we're going to make a Winter Wonderland map. And I am glad to see some familiar faces in chat today. Howdy there, Chuck. Howdy there, Guildmaster. Great to have you here, and everyone else who might be lurking. We are going to dive right into it. What do you think about that? And yes, Chuck, I'm using Dungeondraft for this. That is my mapping tool of choice. I also enjoy other tools, but Dungeondraft just really fits my purposes, and I like showing people how to use it. So let's get down and dirty, and let's get going with a little map. As we see, everything starts out in Dungeondraft with a little bit of dark dirt, but that's not very wintry now, is it? Let's get ourselves a little bit of winter mood in here. And that starts with a very big brush, and we're just gonna add in snow. Lots and lots and lots of snow. That's what we're gonna put in here. Let's see. This is nice and white. I love snow. Winter is by far my favorite season, and I absolutely adore snow. We have a serious lack of snow where I'm living, and maybe, who knows, maybe this winter will be a white winter a man can dream. Let's get back to our map. So we want to make a little bit of a Winter Wonderland, and now Winter Wonderland is, of course, a very broad theme. What is a Winter Wonderland? What is wondrous to many? Well, when I think of winter and of a wonderful landscape, I think about snowy trees, snow-covered evergreens, needles, pines, the beautiful smell they give in that cold season of the year. But we also want to map something for maybe a fantastical tabletop RPG. We want to have a little bit of a fantastic element in there. And for this kind of purpose, how about we make this a Winter Wonderland with some beautiful lighting? That way we can show off the lighting tools that are built into Dungeondraft and play around with a few fantastic elements. So we have a white sheet here, and as I showed on my last stream, before I fill in the details, I want to get a bit of a feel for the terrain that I'm working with. Last time, we had a few cliffs in there for that bit of elevation. We had a river running through it to divide the map a little bit. And today, I'm going to start with a similar approach, because already adding a little bit of elevation adds some depth and tactical element to your map. So let's see what we can do with that. And let's start with a few cliffs. Let's start a few edges. And for that, we go to our path tool, and we take my favorite cliff brush. Well, not brush, but a path. And we're going to see where we're going to draw our little hills. All right, let's start out with a bit of a larger cliff. I am going to increase the width over to 2 and start drawing. If you're watching this and you're wondering, hey, how is he doing that, or why is he doing that, feel free to ask your questions in chat. I'm keeping an eye on it, and feel free also to share your ideas. What do you associate with a winter wonderland? Do you even like winter? Do you like the holidays surrounding the winter season? Do you have any specific association with it? Feel free to share that. All right, I don't want to have hills dominating this one too much. And I'm just going to make maybe another one. You know, I'm going to make a little plateau. I think, yeah, I'm going to make a little plateau here. Like this here. Maybe we can click it. That's beautiful. Little elevation. Chuck asks, do you use any asset makers? Not a lot. Sometimes for my home games, I like to use certain assets, but now that you're asking me off the top of my head, which ones are my favorite, I couldn't tell you at this point. I don't use them enough, but just taking a look at the Dungeondraft subreddit shows you a lot of great maps. And usually if you're thinking like, wow, these are great assets, popping into the thread, usually the map maker will share what kind of assets they use there. And there's also websites like, I think it's cartographyassets.com, where you can specifically filter on Dungeondraft assets. I remember for my home game, there's a great asset that I used to make the maps for the inside of a gigantic ancient magical robot. And that was a lot of fun to build. So check out those places. Guildmaster AXD says, winter should be somewhere you can visit, but don't have to live in for an entire season. Now, that is true. As much as I love winter as well, I don't think I could do an entire year of winter. It's not like I I hate the other seasons. I just really love winter. Okay, I really hate summer, but that's out of the question here. But yeah, no, can't have winter all year around. Chuck says, buddy, check out Crosshead for assets from hands down my favorite. I'll keep those in mind. If it's coming from you, Chuck, I'm sure it's worth checking it out. Let's see. We have a little elevation over here. We have an elevation up here. I do want to do something with water. I want to do something with frozen water. So I'm see if I can plot in some water here. Maybe have a little, ooh, I have an idea. I think I want to have something coming down from here and then have a little bit of water running off the map. Maybe I can do it like this. Maybe it comes from somewhere underground. Maybe it's warmer water, maybe it's colder water. And actually, this is the perfect excuse for me to start playing around with a little bit of tiles here, which I can see. This is something I really like. I can put ice on the water. I'm gonna have fun with that, but we're gonna get into that later. We were still working on our general layout of the map. Let's see. Let's focus a little bit on there, but probably want to have some water coming in from there. A little spring, a little pond on top. Chuck, those are good ideas. Let's see. Maybe we can rush some water down there. It is an iterative process. Map making, like painting, is sometimes all about just trying out some stuff. Actually, I did not want that. I did not want that here. You can go again. We can correct the mistakes. Unlike painting, when you're working with actual colors, you have a lot easier time correcting your mistakes over here. Oh wait, oh yeah, I dig this. Let's do it like this. We have a little elevation over here. This opens up the southwestern area. Maybe we can, if you were to use this map, maybe the people come in from the southwestern corner of it, and they have to go to the northern side. Options. Well, I'm gonna put the cliffs a little bit smaller again, and maybe add a little bit of extra elevation. Let's see how this looks. Not a fan. Not a fan, not a fan. No. Maybe a little bit too much. Okay, we have that over here. And we have a little bit over there. Chuck says, I made him open Dungeondraft. Well, I hope you have fun mapping. Feel free to also map along. I don't know if you're preparing something. Are you working on something for your next game? Anything coming up? What do we have? Okay. This is kind of a nice rough terrain we have. Let's mix the terrain up a little bit. Let's use my terrain brush. Now, I have it still set to the largest brush. We don't want that. We're going to reduce it. And let's see, can we just throw in a little bit over here and throw in a little bit over there? Adding a bit of texture is something that I'm not really good at yet. I think the devil's in the detail, like just a few small spots of it. Let's see. Maybe a little path here and there. Just let the brush grow a little. And even if we don't like this, we can always undo it. Nothing in here is permanent. All right. Chuck is working on a gambling boat. Now that is a location I have not yet used in my games. But that sounds really cool. Just a little bit of stains, just to break up the monotony. And we haven't like added trees or anything yet. We don't have any kind of other details at this point. So this is just the basis. But what we have now, we have a little bit of elevation. We have a little bit of water, which I'm probably going to do with like some kind of spring there, maybe a little waterfall. Let's see how that works out with the assets I have. But at least we have a little bit of the lay of the land. And for those who are curious about it, this is a 30 by 30 squares map. So for the average, let's say D&D Pathfinder use, it's quite a sizable map. Unless your party has some kind of super fast monk or something, they won't cross that quickly to the other side of the map. Okay, cool. I think I want to see if we can pick a few objects or assets that we're going to use. And if we maybe have some nice little decorations that we can put in. Let's see. We have... Oh, for the water, we can actually work with something. See, I have these neat little things here. Now, don't be confused that they have a red color, because in Dungeondraft, some assets are said to be dyeable, colorable. You can change their color at least. And by default, it sets to this, what is it, like dark red, brownish? There's probably a better word for it, but it has this kind of color. And I want to use, maybe this color would fit better for my water. They're still a little big. I could reduce the size. Or I could work with something completely different here. But what you basically could do with them is give a little bit of motion to your water. I'm going to zoom in a little to show you. Like we could indicate with this in what general direction is the water flowing. But I'm not going to use those yet. I am still intrigued by the idea that there might be a little spring here. And I am going to see what we can do. cave. You can indeed put things under the water, and actually, that's something I want to show off later because I have ideas. The thing to put things under the water is something I like to do. I don't use water enough in the things I map for my games. Maybe I should run a nautical campaign once. That should give me ample reason to put things underwater. And by things, I don't mean the player characters. Let's see, what do we have? Well, let's take a look. Naskun, welcome to the chat and good to see you here. And your question is this something your players are allowed to see? Yes, my players are allowed to see this. Feel free to hang in here and watch along as I build a map, because at least I'm not planning to use it in any of the games you might be in, but thank you very much for dropping by. Let's see, what do we have? Can we maybe put a little bridge? No. Let focus, Marcus. We're gonna put trees in there. I want to have trees. Where are my trees at? Okay, so the thing is, I do have some big trees. I do have some, like for example, these very bare trees, but we might wanna. Oh, that's actually an interesting idea. I mean, this is winter. So my first idea was I would work with some evergreens, like put in pine trees and the like. But what if this is the kind of region where there are not many evergreens? We actually have naked, bare bone trees. Let's see what we can do with that. And then actually, this gives me some more ideas for this area in the middle. See, this is why we have to iterate on ideas. I am going to increase the size of this bad boy. And how does he look when I put the shadow off? A little bit flat. One of the things you can do in Dungeondraft, you can decide if you want your objects to throw shadow or not. I have now disabled the shadow on this one, but if I turn it on again, you see that there's a bit more depth to them. Usually, I would suggest turning off the shadows for things that you want to have flat on the ground, and turning them on for things that are on a higher layer, on a bit of elevation. Shadows at depth. That might be very obvious to people, but it's valuable advice to you. What we can then do, what I like about this is I have this very big empty tree or like bare tree up here. And I want to actually have this one have some roots reaching down all along this. Now, sure, you could say, Marcus, these colors, they don't match. The tree in the middle is a darker brown, and the roots are a lighter brown. To that I say, I don't care. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe there's a reason why the tree is darker than the roots. Maybe it's just because I don't have these fitting assets yet, and I should follow Chuck's earlier advice to check out some custom assets. And I am going to put this one here. No, I don't like this route. I'm going to take a different route. Marcus, these colors don't match. Yes, indeed they don't do. And as Chuck says, this is indeed the correct reaction. Let's see. See, now I'm hyper-focused on what routes to use. No, you know what? I'm going to put these one. This is good. This would do what I wanted to do. thing is, as I put this tree together, the GM in me is already thinking like, oh, what is this tree? What is under this tree? Why is it elevated here? What does it do in this cold place? Chuck says, best phrase a DM or map maker can put in their vocab is, I do what I want. Yes. I do think, caveat here, as a GM, using that a little bit too often can be problematic, but sometimes you just gotta do what you enjoy. We're all having fun here, aren't we? Okay. Let's see. So, one interesting thing that I'm actually now doing here is I want to have the roots underneath the tree. And in Dungeondraft, I can work with layers. Just like ogres and onions, Dungeondraft has layers. And currently, this tree is on layer 1. And the higher up I put something, so in the higher layers, the higher it is above the other layer. So for example, something on layer 1 is below something on layer 4. So if I want my roots underneath my tree, which is currently on layer 1 with the roots, I can put my tree, for example, on layer 2. And what you can see, it magically goes above the roots. Cool, isn't it? Okay, let's put some more little things around. No, let's leave this for now. Let's leave this for now. We have still some other space. I'm way too... I like this way too much. I like this way too much. I need to go to the other parts. Let's see. I am going to put some other objects over here. Maybe we have some dead trees over here. This one here, like something like that, that could help a character moving up to the elevated ground. So they might want to go for that. Tactics. And I want a few more. Maybe something over here. And he pondered while sipping his tea. What else could we put here? Well, there's a category that I have wood here. Burned wood. Maybe there was a fire here. Burned wood. Fire and winter and snow. Possibilities. Let's put it on the list. Statues, storage, structure. Let's say skeletons. We'll get to those. Let's start with rocks. Let's add some rocks. When putting in objects, I like to start with my largest objects. Because the larger something is, the more it will dominate your map. And I think it's always best to figure out some space first for your large things. And then you can fill up the holes with smaller things. All right. Let's see. Oh, what we actually have here, this is cool. So, this is lava. Oh, I thought I could color this, but I can't. So I was thinking maybe I could color it up with some, to look like ice or something. Let's put some rocks over here. Oh, this one, like, make it look like the rocks slid off from the edge. And we're gonna put that one over here. A little bit more. Let's drop the scale on these. Let's go back to a scale of 1. And there. A little bit up there. Some over there. Over there. I hope everyone is also enjoying the music. This music is by Game Chops, and I really like their mixes. They're pretty chill and easy on the ears. Excellent for these kind of streams. Oh, see, now things are getting to put together. We have this tree in the middle here, and I just put like a rock underneath that tree. What if there was magic going on there? This is a place where there is some wintry frozen magic that arrives around here. What if we make this a little bit bigger? A little bit of magical symbols in there. Maybe this is a place where the Fae of the Winter Court, the Unseelie, where they gather, congregate. Some kind of place where, for example, if you're playing something like D&D, you can easier enter the frozen parts of the Feywild. Now I'm gonna put this magic circle over here, but we're gonna fix this now with layers again. If you ever have a problem, just think, is my stuff on the right layer? I'm gonna put the tree here on the highest layer. And then I need to see this kind of selection is always a little bit tricky. I'm gonna put this, but actually I want the rock. I want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, come here. You're gonna go to layer 2 and see, now we have this circular thing all around the base. We have that in there. And we can maybe add some other stuff around this. And maybe, as I was talking about putting in lighting, we can put some lights around that tree. Let's put a little bit of preview in here. I'm gonna make the map a little bit darker. Here, a little bit darker. And let's put some lights there. There's a light here. And maybe there's one over there as well. And there's one here as well. And what if we made things block the light so that the light is cast in a different way? Yeah, there's some possibilities here. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about just making a map with just a few ideas, just a keyword, and then just going to town. I don't know what we're going to end up with. You don't know what we're going to end up with, but so far, we're not just getting a map, we're also getting a bit of story to it. It's good. We've already been doing this for half an hour, and I'm going to take a chance to refill my cup a little bit and also run a few ads while we're on break. Let's take a little break for, let's say, just 5 minutes. So if you're enjoying what I'm doing here, thank you very much for coming so far. Use these 5 minutes to enjoy a few nice little ads, and we'll be right back. See you in 5. And we are back. We are back for another round of mapping and getting our wintry Wonderland further improved. Right before our quick little break, I showed what we could do with the lights, but we're not there yet. I think we first have to mess a little bit more around with the terrain and then see how we can use the light to our best purposes to add this bit of fairy wondrous magic to it. With that, let's continue with expanding our map. We have our tree here in the middle. Let's take a few more things. And as we do that, my cat has decided to join us for this second half of our second part of the stream. My little buddy wants to help us out here. Oh, you also like snow, right? Yes, you do. Let's see. My objects. I want to add some more terrain. I need some more texture. We want to break this up a little bit. And in my last mapping stream, I talked about for maps that you want to use in tactical games, in games where positioning and stuff like that matters, you also want to think about cover. Something where the players can hide behind, but not just the players, also their opponents, the opposition. And we should give this some chance to add in some places to cover. And what I was thinking about is actually using walls for that, actual walls for building. So one of the things that if you use Dungeondraft before, you know the building tool for walls and for building houses. If you were working on floor plans, for example, for a dungeon or for a building. But we could also use that. For example, what I'm going to show here is, let's say, this little corner over here is what might have remained from some kind of building that once was there. A little, maybe some kind of little house, maybe the remains of a tower. Something has crumbled there. Maybe someone did build a small little shrine close to this place. For a tactical purpose, this gives some cover. This can block line of sight. This is something where a player character can jump behind, but also one of your monsters that are fighting the player characters can get behind. Because never forget that the enemies, the opposition, isn't just monsters that blindly charge to their death, that just fight without any thought. They probably have some ideas of how they want to approach and fight your fight the player characters. Unless there's some kind of wild animal that might not give some thought to it. See, and this house had a nice rough flooring, but most of it is now oversnowed. That's why it's only peeking out through the snow. There's just some little barriers over here. But maybe there's also some more objects we can put in. Let's see. What do we have? Just opened the obstacle category in Dungeondraft, and they have like tar pits. Absolutely no use for this project, but who knows? Maybe in the future. Is there anything we can use here? I'm just now like browsing the catalog, and there's actually also a snow category. I could put a little bit of snow on things. A little bit of freshly fallen snow. Once again, using my layers tactically. See? The branches reach over it still. Depth. And maybe, how about put a little bit of snow on a tree as well? Let's put that here. Oh, whoa, this is a big boy. Oh, wow. No surprise, because I have still set the scale to 2.71. Let's put a few. Now, what you see happening here is you see that the assets, they keep snapping to the center of a square. This is because I still have the snap enabled. Whenever I don't want to have this, I can click in the bottom here, or I can just press S and disable the snap. And then I have free reign of where I want to put these. Let's put some snow up here. And maybe also a little over here. There. And I could also, there's a layer called above walls, and I can use that to put, to everyone's great surprise, snow up on these walls. So just some nice little touches that we can do with our terrain to add a bit of personality to it. And as you can tell, I am now just randomly looked at this and was like, yeah, this is cool. Let's use this. And that's how the creative process sometimes works. Let's see. Material brush. I want to see if I can put some. I want to see how it looks if I put some ice on here. It's not half bad. I think my brush is a little bit too big. And maybe this doesn't blend very well. Indeed, Chuck. Eventually, the map builds itself. It's, once you get going, it just starts doing itself. Let's first get some more life or lack of life on the map. Let's go back to our trees. I want to have some more trees. Some more of these. This is a very small one. This is also very small. I want layer. I'm currently above walls. I don't want to be above walls, but I want to put another one over here. Let's make a little larger one over here at the edge of the map. Oh, I am noticing something. I have turned my shadows off, and I want them turned on for these. Even better yet, I want them to also block light. And why do I want them to block light? That is something I'm going to show a little bit later. I might be teasing you with that, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Ooh, do I want? I already have like a tree over here, like a log over here to go up there. I was thinking like putting one over the water here, but no. Let's not make it too easy for the characters. If they have to go through ice cold water, they have to go through ice cold water. It might build character. Who knows? Let's make it a little bit smaller again. think I'm still gonna... There's... The big empty spaces I still have are here in the southwestern corner and in the north of my map. Those are the big empty ones so far. If you have an idea for what I could put there, I'm all ears. I gladly put anything there. Bushes, shrubberies. Yes, that's an option. Bushes, bushes. Do we have some bushes there? What do we have? These bushes are very green. They would be they have a bit of contrast, but I can put some snow on top of them. Probably looks adorable. You know, it's my map. And I'm gonna do what I want. We're gonna put some bushes here. Oh, yes. Oh, that brings me yet another idea, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Step by step. Some nice big bushes over here. Talking again about, like, cover and the likes. These bushes can help with that as well. Then you might wonder, hey, why are there these pretty green bushes here, while all the trees in here look so dead and dry? An excellent question. Why is that? Is there life from one thing here going to something else? Are these bushes enchanted? Are they special? Maybe they are bushes of... If you play D&D, maybe they're like bushes of good berries. Maybe your players can pluck themselves a good berry from it. And maybe some of those good berries are special good berries. They are the goodest berries. They might restore more hit points. Yeah, we're sprucing this up a little bit. We're sprucing this up. I want to have some bushes. You know, I'm going to put some bushes on top of this rock. Bloop. And then, now that I've done this, I go back to my snow, and I'm putting snow on top of these bushes. Because we just had some snow falling around here. This is, of course, the ideal kind of map if you're using something like Foundry or any kind of virtual tabletop that supports weather effects, to put some snow on when your players get on this map. I suggest just a light snowy drizzle, no full-blown blizzard, unless the characters invoke the fury of the winter fae lord or lady of this place. That could be something. Okay, okay. We have some bushes. There's snow in the bushes. These bushes also give difficult terrain. That's true. But I'm still a little bit focused on this little place here in the middle. A little bit focused. This is a place of power. This is a place of worship. This is a place of where people would go to maybe pay tribute to whatever magic resides here, call upon the magic. It's different ways. So if this is a place where people go, there must be an easier way to get up to that plateau in the middle. There must be a there must be a way to get up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at some stairs. We're going stairs shopping. Maybe put on a few... oh, I'm still not snapping. Maybe put a few... I'd have to look a little bit used, don't they? Someone used them. Gonna spin it. Or we also have stairs in our path tool. That's also possible. I could just basically make this a path and be like, ta-da! It's very small stairs. They're very slim. I like stairs of any size. let's see if we put it like this. Yeah. Goodbye, kitty cat. He had enough of the mapping. He thinks that my mapping is not good enough, and so he has decided to leave. He might come back. He always does. Okay. I have an idea for that. This is going to be fine. So what I am then going to do also is I'm going to my objects. I'm going to my snow. I'm turning off the shadow. And I want to, like, at least, so we have a bit of a transition here. Maybe put a little bit of... start with that. They're a little bit snowed in. Just a little bit of that. And I will now go back to my path tool. And this is a wagon trail. No, I don't want path. I'm going to my terrain brush. And there's going to be a bit of a trail. I want people to... There's a trail. People went here. People came here. So we have a bit of a path here. And the same goes for this area around the rock. People trotted around here. So it's not so much of this. Not so much of this, but we have that here. Okay. What I also then like to do is I go with the snow again around some parts of it to slim it down. And put that over here. Put that over there. That's good. It's pretty cool. Pretty neat. That's, do we want it accessible from both sides? I think we do. I'm gonna go to my path again. And I'm also going to make a tiny little staircase here. And then we're going again to my terrain. And we're going to draw a bit of a path. So we have somewhere from two sides. This might be really like a very important place of meeting or worship that people come to, that people regularly come to. We have two paths there. I am not too big of a fan of all these. I'll put this one away. And where are my objects at? Putting that down to 2, after 1. Put it over there. And a little bit over there. Some more of that. Starting to shape up. This is starting to do something. I think what we're going to do for now is we're going to take one more small break. And when we get back, we're going to add in the lights to add some atmosphere to this. Then, I think for about at that point, a little bit more than an hour of work, we got ourselves something going. So let's roll a few ads. We're going break. Take the chance to stretch your legs and refill your cups. And we'll be back in another 5 minutes. See you in 5. And here we are again for part 3 of today's little mapping stream. In part 1, we built the basics of a map, hardly having any idea of what we're going to build. Then we figured out that the centerpiece here is this mysterious dead tree with a bit of a summoning circle under it. And later to that, we added some nice green bushes, a little bit of path and snow and stairs leading up to it. And for now, I want to finish up for today with a little bit of lighting, the glory of lighting. Now, before I add lighting, here's an interesting thing for anyone who's watching and who wants to use these kind of maps in their virtual tabletops. If the virtual tabletop you are using has built-in dynamic lighting with lighting and shadows and everything, and walls that can block lighting, I would suggest using your virtual tabletop's lighting. That adds a little bit more life to your map. But if your virtual tabletop doesn't have that, or you want to print the map, or you just want to do your own thing, then it's cool to add some lighting to your map. If by any chance you're using Foundry VTT, there is actually a module for Foundry that when you import a map from Dungeondraft and there's lighting in there, it also imports the lighting for you, which saves you some fiddling around. Enough talk about that. Let's get some lights on here. And in order for us to see the lighting better, I will dim the light. Ooh, it's getting dark. Oh, this is too dark. Can't see anything. Let's make it a little lighter. We could also, if we wanted to really rub in the magic, color a lighting. Give it like maybe a gentle lighting like this. I just want it a little bit darker. And then we are adding the light. Serapis Theka, I hope I pronounced this right, but Serapis asked which app, program, or page you use to create battle maps. I am currently using Dungeondraft by Megasploot. Dungeondraft is a PC, and I think it's also supported on Mac, tool that you can download to build maps. It is my personal favorite tool. And if you want to check it out, if you Google Dungeondraft, you will find the program as well. It's a great program. I built both maps for my home games and for the live stream game on this channel there. And I really like it. And glad to have you here because you can actually see the mapping program in action. And if you have any questions at any point, feel free to drop them in chat. Happy to help. All right. We have lights here. And one thing you notice is I have set this tree in the center to block lights. And as long as you have your light set to actually work with shadows, it can block the lighting here. And I want to have a spooky, 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 spooky light coming out from between the roots of the tree. Really spooky lights. And I want it to be a little bit bigger. Ooh, this is too big. This looks eerie, but it's a little bit too big. Let's make the range lower. Put it like this. Oh, yeah. And over here as well. Ooh. There's some eerie light coming from under it. Like this. Like maybe underneath the roots, maybe characters can crawl underneath them, and this accesses them to some kind of fairy portal. It's good. This is good. But I also want some lighting on the bushes. Now, as you can see, I have probably enabled for these bushes that all of these block lighting. But if I turn off shadows, this doesn't matter anymore. And I can put some little fairy lights into my bushes. Let's just make it really clear that these are not your garden variety little bushes. They glow. And I don't spend much time in nature. I should spend more time in nature, but the time I spent in nature has never shown me a glowing bush. So if I were an adventurer and I would come upon these bushes, I would wonder, why do they glow? Okay, we have a little bit of light in there. I also want some additional lights up in the tree. Maybe have a few... Oh, maybe have a little bit more contrast with a bit of pink. At least, I think this is very pink. I am not known for my accuracy in naming colors. Let's put a bit up there. And I also want the roots here a little bit to glow. Put some lights here, down in the roots. Put that up there as well. Have a little bit of lighting here. So that's in there. We got a bit of mood set. People come into this, the glowing tree, the pink purplish lights in the tree, the freezing cold light in the center, and the bushes also glowing. And maybe I want to play a little bit around with the general color of the place. I'm going to change the ambient lighting a little bit. Maybe if I do it in just a little bit of a... like something like this. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Serapis is a DM and also loves to create maps. Usually makes them in Roll20 or Incarnate. Dungeondraft is free. I do love the light system. Dungeondraft is not free. It is a one-time payment. You buy it once. There is no subscription model or anything. You just have to pay it once. From the top of my head, I'm not sure about the price, but it is at least just a one-time payment, no subscription. If you also like Incarnate, I do also like Incarnate. It has been a while since I used it, but I've seen amazing maps being made in Incarnate. So I also think that's a really cool tool. And yeah, the lighting system here in Dungeondraft is fun. I can spend hours just playing around with this. What I still wanted to show is we wanted to put something underneath the water, because earlier our viewer Chuck here also pointed out that you can put stuff underwater. And if this is a place of worship or some kind of tribute being paid, maybe the people that come here, they have a habit to throw coins or some object of worth into the water. Maybe this little stream here is like a bit of a place to bring a sacrifice, to share something before the Fae or whatever magical inhabitant of this place helps you out. So I am going to go to my objects, and we are going to, I think there was like, it has a category treasure. Yes. Now, here's the thing. If I would just put the treasure, I'm going to zoom in a little. If I just put the treasure on one of the top layers, it's just floating there. And as we all know, gold and treasure, they don't float. Well, it depends on the treasure, but generally gold doesn't flow. And dear adventurers, if you see gold coins that float, be careful. Word of advice. What we can do is put them on the layer on below water. And as you see, ta-da! It is beneath the water. And there, let's put some coins there. Put some offerings, like Serapis said, some offerings that are being... People bring coins. And maybe some even bring some gems or diamonds. And of course, you're gonna have them. There's gonna be people, there's gonna be characters who see that, and they're gonna try to take the coins and take the diamonds. And that will probably have consequences. Consequences that can lead to some more interesting adventures. Maybe put some chests, and one of them is a mimic. Now, would that not be a classic? I'm gonna put a chest down there, just to get a little bit of attention to it. Plop, there's a chest. And since we now put some coins down there, let's maybe put a little bit of glow to them to highlight that. And we have it. We have it for now. I'd say we would have it for now. Of course, there is still a lot of things that we could touch up. But what we have is a map where we can tell a story, which is something that tabletop RPGs are all about, now aren't they? And also offers a few tactical elements. We have elevation, there's some cover, there's difficult terrain, there's cold water that's flowing around. And I think we can have a fun encounter here. Maybe there is a combat here. Maybe someone does anger the Fae or whatever magical beings live here. Or maybe this is just a nice backdrop where you can have your characters meet an interesting NPC or come request help from some powerful entity. I will save this map for now. I'm pretty pleased with the result. And I am actually going to share this map on our Horde of Tales Discord. If you want to get this map, you're free to use it for whatever you want to use it. I'm going to post it there both as a gridded and a gridless version. If you want to join our Discord, the link is below our Twitch stream. And if you enjoyed this, I'm super happy to have some people here in chat who hung out. Thanks to everyone who shared their ideas, some of you who got their introduction here to Dungeondraft. Serapis says that they will consider checking out Dungeondraft. That's great to hear. Chuck has been mapping along on his gambling boat here. That was fun to do. I found it super comfy. If you liked what you saw, make sure to check out our other streams. Usually on this time slot, we're playing a 5th edition D&D Aberon game, which will be back next week, actually for our first year anniversary game. Our Aberon stream, Convergence Manifesto, will turn 1 year old, and you should surely check it out. Coming Thursday, so in 2 days, we're going to have our next session of 12 on this channel, so also drop by for that. And make sure to also keep an eye on our socials. We have a fun little charity event planned on 12 November, which is not this Saturday, but the Saturday after that. Charity event called Shine a Light. If you want to keep all that information, keep tabs on everything, check out our Twitter, which you can also find below. And before we head out here, I am going to raid us over to our friends at Girls Run These Worlds, who are currently playing Mouse Ritter, a fantastic, adorable, and well-made OSR tabletop RPG. So I'm going to set that up. I want to say thank you for everyone hanging out. And I hope we're going to have one of these streams again in the future. And I am Markus, also known as the Individual. And I wish you good luck. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day wherever you may be. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.